to this week's episode of This is Yoga. I am sick, so it's a perfect opportunity to build on, I sound so squeaky, build on what we were doing last week with our counter pose. So this week we're going to elaborate on that and turn it into a restorative pose. It is called heart bend. I find during the winter I curl up, often when I sleep if I'm cold, and right now I'm having trouble breathing, so I'd like to open things up. I have built props. You can use large or small bolsters. Right here I have just a long cushion. It's kind of like a little body cushion actually, my wonderful mom made. And I folded 2 yoga mats so that they are each about 30 centimeters across. So yoga mat folded on the bottom. It could also be a folded blanket. You could make these out of the sandwich out of multiple kinds of ingredients. I left a little tail sticking out here at the end because that's where our low back goes. So we want to sit quite close to the props without necessarily jamming ourselves up against them, particularly if it's a higher or harder prop. If it is somewhat lower and softer, we want to keep in mind either way that the curvature of the low back is maintained, is gentle without jamming it, or also without leaving it completely unsupported. Now, I like to have a low cushion. My mother also made this. Turns out my mom is extremely handy. So I like to turn this on its end, flattest, most squashed size. The idea behind this is not to jack the head up, as we've talked about before, and close things. We want to keep the neutrality of the back of the neck with a C7. Lumpy lump, the big vertebrae right there. That's where the vertebrae change size and shape from thoracic to cervical. We want the head and neck supported. I also folded up a blanket, which incidentally my mother gave me because my mother is apparently completely rad. You could have a blanket on top of you, which is actually recommended. I don't happen to have another blanket handy today, and I'm kind of just using it as my sausage casing. Having a blanket over top of you is extremely comforting and grounding. I listen to my body. I try to keep things simple, and I want to get the most benefit out of a pose without getting overly technical about it. I think it's important to be safe and aligned, and then comfortable, especially in restorative, and able to relax. So, voila. I'm trying to remember how my mom says voila when we're trying to mispronounce things on purpose. You know, tortilla, boila. Sit and back. I'm going to support my knees, so I'm going to take soles of the feet together, the knees apart. So it's a hip opener. I'm going to put these under my knees. I'm going to feel where that little cushion tail is. I'm going to put myself pretty close to everything. I want to make sure that my hips feel adequately supported. I'm using 3-inch blocks because I know that that's enough for my hips. I've got the cushion under my neck so I can feel like the back of my neck is lengthening, and you'll know what that feels like if you're kind of like this and your chin's in the air. So we want to pull the head a little bit, and that's why it's important to support out of the head. And then breathe deeply, really thinking about letting every part of the body relax here. I just moved my tailbone down and away, lengthening my low back a little bit more. It's still supported all the way down, so it's a gentle arc happening. And to come out, you need to lift the knees up. If you've been there a while, when you use your hands to lift them up, you can lift the arm to one side, roll out carefully, spiral up, walking ourselves back up to seated. And you can be in heart bed for 5 to 7 minutes. I think we'll close her off there. I recommend lots of honey, ginger, and lime in hot water, hot baths with Epsom salts and essential oils like eucalyptus, as well as lots of rest and staying cozy and warm. See you next week, and don't forget, all of this self-care, this is yoga.